right, new episode of the Captain and Madden Show coming at you here September 26th in the year 2025. Exciting stuff on our end of things. This is Mike Madden coming to you on the hot microphone, ones and twos here. The Captain Michael Corby on his end. Captain, how are you today on this lovely day?
Hello, Mike Madden. How are we doing today?
I say it's a lovely day. Is it really a lovely day? It's a little...
it's kind of a little crappy out.
It's a little crappy out.
It's cloudy. It's muggy.
I think it's
like the end of September. I didn't think I'd really be dealing with like humid weather again.
Yeah. So maybe it's more metaphorically lovely of a day because we get to produce another episode of this podcast.
We get to talk to our listeners, both of them.
Okay.
How are you guys doing today?
Come on now.
It's end of September. We're rolling into October baseball. The Yankees have punched their ticket. I'm pretty confident that the Mets will punch their ticket sometime this week. And
it's fun to be confident
because football season's over.
Seems to be spiraling. Yes.
Thank you, New York Jets and Giants. I guess I really need to work on finding a second team because my one team number uno, is 0-3. Well, we got our coach high stepping it on the sideline.
Yeah.
He doesn't realize there's still 2 minutes left in the game.
Yeah, and he's not playing.
And your jackass defensive coordinator is going to go into prevent defense when you're protecting a 1-point lead.
Yeah, good luck with that. Stupid.
God. My life.
But
I'm sorry. I apologize for the curse.
We did do. Oh no, that's fine. We can curse on this show. But the bright side is we did do a couple months ago. We did do that sports side piece episode. So you can go back. You can listen to that, and you can say, "Oh, I might have, I might have mentioned a couple teams that I can fall back on, or." Maybe I made a compelling argument for, another team in the NFL. So you never know. It's all within your reach if you decide to bail out of Jettown. So
if it just so happens that on a random Sunday I walk into our favorite watering hole, the Pool Ave bar, and I'm wearing a Detroit Lions jersey, or I've decided, you know what, I really like the Carolina Panthers colors.
Okay.
Or somebody, maybe I'm walking in with a Micah Parsons #1 Green Bay jersey. I don't know. Could be. Yeah. I don't know what's going on.
It could be.
Just know that if you see me and it's been 40 years of an abusive relationship. I deserve. I deserve a side piece or another chance.
Yes. Yeah. A second.
I deserve happiness.
Maybe you're the Golden Bachelor.
Maybe.
A bunch of teams should have their roses ready, and they should propose to you in that way.
Line them up. Give me 14 NFL teams, and let them woo me.
And you don't have to go on bad dates. Like, you don't have to get into a hot air balloon for these NFL teams. You don't have to go horseback riding or go dolphin watching somewhere like these goofs do on this Bachelor show.
It's real simple. Can you complete a first down?
Are you interesting to watch? Do you maybe have a future in the NFL?
Are you good at scoring touchdowns without using the tush push? Because that will eliminate you.
No hands-on fannies. But that's, speaking of side pieces, this brings us to our topic for this week.
Beautiful segue. You're a master at this.
Maybe the best. Wow. Maybe the best in this on this particular network. We are discussing. We're cultivated our dream team of side characters / sidekicks from popular sitcoms over the last 40 plus years. It's a lot to draw from. Let's just be honest. By definition, a side character is somebody that's not in the main cast, although they may show up on the credits. If it's a family sitcom, it really shouldn't be somebody that isn't in the family. If it's a solo person or a single, somebody that's single, you're thinking about, the person that is at their job or their person that is their best friend or their buddy that that you'll see in not every episode, but most episodes they appear in, and also they better bring the thunder when it comes to attitude, wackiness. We need a little bit of. I don't need any wet noodles when we're talking side characters. We want energy and vibe with these folks. Would you concur?
We need somebody where if it's a funny or silly moment in a show, it's going to add to the funny or silly. If it's chaotic, they're there to either
drum up the chaos,
snark at the main cast, or to pour more gasoline right on the fire.
Right. Or they could be the reason why it's chaotic.
All at the same time while they're probably chaotic and should be pouring gasoline on themselves.
Yes.
Like that woman in Jaws 2. Still can't figure that one out.
Oh, listen, everybody's got a death wish sometimes. So let's start hacking at this. We build, as we do with all of the dream teams, we build a roster of 12 folks. The last 5 are our starting 5, which means they are the best, equivalent to the Mount Rushmore of things. This network does not, we don't get political, so we're not doing a Mount Rushmore of anything anymore. So, so that's, listen, you want to carve people's faces in the stone, do it. But we're not recognizing Mount Rushmore as the as the leading way to find the best of the best anymore. It's dream teams. So
my favorite of all time was when the Richie Rich family had their own mountain and had a laser, and we're basically carving each member of the Richie Rich family, all 4 members of them.
See, that's narcissism at a different level.
Hey, calling yourself the dream team before you won anything could be narcissistic too. So
that's a good point. That's fair.
Philadelphia Eagles,
fairly good.
At you.
All right. Number 12 on the dream team of these side characters. I may be going with one of the most sort of lost cause characters, or certainly somebody that had a downward spiral of epic proportion over what is now 17 seasons. The longest running sitcom, live action sitcom in the history of television. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. You know him as Rickety Cricket, the former Reverend Matthew Mara, who became the homeless drifter, Rickety Cricket. A couple of his, obviously, being a former priest and being absolutely corruptible to the nth degree through the years, involved with all sorts of drug-related issues, homelessness, may or may not had relations with a dog, just kind of people squeezing lemons into his open wounds. Rickety Cricket, a telltale, an interesting side character to say the least, because the second that his name comes up, you're like, oh, they're going to make him do something that he should have said no to 20,000 times. And then there he is. He's game for anything because Frank's going to give him a little bit of money, or the gang's going to let him participate in something that, he obviously has a little bit of expertise in. So Rickety Cricket, very memorable and very chaotic in his own sense. So he makes the list.
One of when it's done right, is one of the enjoyable things in sitcoms, is when at some point you have a character who is completely lost cause, and either they at some point kind of do a quick flashback and kind of explain as to where, I'm thinking of Christopher Lloyd's character in Taxi, where he's a stoner completely, and then there's an episode where it shows him he was in college and he was
preppy,
an honor roll student, and then they see him take a hit of a joint, and then he just turns into Reverend Jim.
Yeah, exactly.
Or The Simpsons, I think, did that with Barney.
Yep. Yeah, well, they did it a couple
where-
times with Barney. Yeah.
where they like showed him before he had his first beer and he was like a normal person.
Yeah, he was an athlete. He was doing backflips.
This-
Yeah.
Rickety Cricket, the best thing about it is that if you watch the series, and I'll admit, I was on board in the beginning. I kind of popped it. 17 seasons is a long time.
Yeah.
But to see him in the later years, like where he, and just to think like that dude was like a priest. He was like completely clean shaven. He was like a Mormon type, but like didn't do like. And then you start thinking of all the awful things that those people like, and it wasn't. And the worst part of it is, it's not like they sat there and got together and said, "How can we purposely ruin this guy?" It's so inadvertently and
walked into it,
and it's just kind of like, yo, wait a minute, you had sex with a dog? Like what? Like
right.
like they take all this bad shit has happened to this dude over the course of 17 seasons, yet the gang never takes any credit or responsibility for it. It's just this guy is a complete mess, and they just kind of like, oh, it's Rickety Cricket.
That's fine, Cricks.
They don't even refer to him by his real name anymore. Like,
no.
I don't remember the last time they ever referred to him. It's always been Rickety Cricket.
Rickety Cricket.
So yeah, it's an interest in a series that had a lot of the gang itself are pretty deplorable people.
Yeah.
But to see their web over this poor man,
yes,
it's been very entertaining.
Yes,
to say the least.
How they've basically, they've stripped him of all of his dignity, and he is what he is, and he's anytime that his name, like I said, his name comes up a couple times, and I think he in like 1 or 2 episodes in season 17, and it's like, oh, look what they got Cricket doing now. So let's move to number 11. You've got notes on number 11, correct?
Oh yeah. So my number character that I was kind of pushing for, and we put him at number 11. The character's name is Dr. Bob Kelso.
Mm-hmm.
For any of those who have watched the show Scrubs.
Yep.
The actor's name is Ken Jenkins. Has one of those faces. Could have been like that guy in other movies or television shows. He plays like the lead doctor of the hospital, like the chief of medicine or whatever. And he's an old cranky guy who basically, in a series full of characters that pretty much of doctors and nurses and stuff that try to put each other down and are constantly hijinks or whatever you want to call it. Like every time he sees like the new doctors fall on their face, he takes joy in it. He takes joy in everybody else's misery, everybody else's anxiety. The other character who does very similar thing and is probably a little bit more noticeable would be John C. McGinley on the show. Kelso tortures John C. McGinley.
Yes.
Because he was his mentor.
Yeah.
There was another side character. Unfortunately, the actor, I believe, passed during COVID. But he was like the hospital's lawyer, who was always miserable.
Yeah.
Because he was always dealing with like patient lawsuits from patients and everything.
Couldn't find love.
Kelso loved to make that man's life a living hell.
Of course, yeah.
So, as myself being somebody who is a grumpy person, who is maybe sometimes labeled grumpy, but I can be grumpy, who I do occasionally do find somewhat joy in the misfortunes of others, or sit back and be able to say, I told you so. Now you're full of stress. The fact that he refers to one of the lead characters, who is the daughter on Roseanne. She plays one of the doctors. I'm missing her name, but he refers to her repeatedly throughout the series as Blondie.
Yes.
Or Dr. Blondie.
Dr. Blondie.
He won't learn her name, even though she's now a resident and is one of the lead doctors. She's always Blondie or Dr. Blondie or something. Like, he's just that type of antagonist, that kind of asshole. And I always thought Scrubs was a little bit underrated, like
Oh,
of a
certainly, yeah,
series.
yeah.
I think sometimes the whole Zach Braff and Donald Faison, like now with the commercial, like they're talking about bringing it back, and
Yeah,
they're in the T-Mobile commercials and stuff. But the show is actually really funny.
their stuff was very cutesy, but yes, you're right. Like somebody like Dr. Kelso with his stern ways and his, sort of offhanded compliments, and then the nicknames and everything.
And the laugh, like when things are really just hitting, when the shit's really hitting the fan, and he's just sitting there with that laugh.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a character that I enjoy. I enjoy characters who take pleasure in other people's misery.
Well, yeah, I mean, that was the other thing. That's like if they're basically, the aim of the show is to, like, you got a little love story in there. You've got, the two resident doctors that are new to this, that are like chums and buddies, and he's the momentum killer, but he's also, again, they give it back to him. Dr. Cox is certainly, like, a little bit like snide with him as well. So
yeah, I mean, the fact that he's older, he's near retirement, and Dr. Cox is always like, basically telling him he's like one day closer to death throughout the
right,
whole thing.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, or when there are moments where Zach Braff's character is like going for him for guidance or counseling, and there's few moments where he kind of drops the facade, and then quickly, like when you think like he has a heart or whatever,
mm-hmm.
he turns around and does something, and brings it back full circle. So, Dr. Bob Kelso as number 11.
I like it. He kind of flies under the radar. Scrubs, for a while there, you couldn't escape Scrubs on on reruns on TV, and that's sort of like, you got to find it now. But it's a good one. He's a very memorable entity. You've got the number 10 slot as well.
Oh, I would thought you would want to take the 10 slot, since wasn't she one of your one of the actresses when we had that ill-mentioned crush? I thought you had a thing for her at some point.
She didn't make my list of crushes, but this is an interesting one. I like it.
So the character's name was Six, from the NBC sitcom Blossom.
Mm-hmm.
The actress's name was Jenny Von Oy.
Jenny Von Oy, yes.
Who was also wasn't she on like a W or UPN?
Yeah, she was on the she was on the Parkers.
Okay.
She played the best friend on the Parkers.
Blossom was for those that were of our age, was a little bit different because it was a sitcom. I kind of felt like growing up, a lot of the family sitcoms, like normally the oldest was like the male. You think like Alex P. Keaton, Mike
mm-hmm.
Seaver, and they were always kind of like the focus.
Yeah.
This was a show where not only was she like the middle.
No, she was the youngest.
I thought Joey Lawrence was the youngest.
Nah.
Well, even better. She's the youngest of the three, but she's the main focus of the show. Obviously, it's named Blossom,
mm-hmm.
which didn't see too many female lead sitcom-driven characters at that time,
unless it was the like the working girl type, or the mother that was adult, like Kate and Allie, something like that. Like yeah.
Like normally, if it was an adult female, this was like a teenage girl who had an older brother who was a recovering drug addict,
mm-hmm.
had or younger brother.
They were both.
Brother.
The middle brother was the.
I don't know. Joey Lawrence still looks like he's like 10 years old.
Sorry,
it's kind of tough.
You're pigeonholing him.
Nobody could really pronounce Blossom, the actresses, even though she's still really famous because she's on
Jeopardy,
Big Bang Theory, and Jeopardy.
Yeah.
Mayim Balki or Balki.
Bialik.
I still can't pronounce. But Six was her best friend.
Yes.
Very neurotic, very high energy.
Yes.
Would always come in with either a story or had dirt or something, or was just filled with anxiety. And a lot of times Blossom had to be like the voice of reason for Six. So that was that type of character. Again, it was just different. I would say for us, maybe our age group growing up, because like, different ones, they like every episode was about Blossom. That was the main focus.
Oh, yeah, for the most part.
A lot of the other sitcoms, the sister occasionally got like a story. Usually they were like, you think that Mallory was always the punching bag. She was the Alex always made fun of her.
Yeah, right.
Same thing with like Mike Seaver in Growing Pains. Like Tracy Gold always took the brunt because she was nerdy and she got good grades and she wore glasses, and Mike always poked fun at that.
Oh, and he said she was fat too. Like that was the worst. It's like he's calling her fat and she's like not even close to overweight, and yeah.
And in real life she had an eating disorder.
Yeah, exactly. Gave her an eating disorder because those writers were assholes to her. Yeah, fuck.
Fuck you, Kirk Cameron, and your whatever bullshit that you do now.
Yeah.
But yeah, Six was like, it was just something I don't think you ever saw really a character like that. And I think there were like times you could look after this show, like Blossom was a success for a few years, and then I think she wound up going to college in real life, and
yeah,
that type of role, like the neurotic kind of like high energy best friend, was in a bunch of sitcoms after. It
got recycled over and over again. Well, so all right, so there's the actual term for it is manic pixie dream girl, and that's what Six was. She was a manic pixie dream girl. Whether they made that a trope for a best friend or somebody in an ensemble, or like you think about like when you got to like the 2000s and the 2010s, they would build a sitcom around that, and it would be the new girl, or it would be like there's elements of that in like Gilmore Girls and stuff like that. So you certainly have like whatever they had with Six was as a side character. It was like, wait a second, like we could have written this whole show about this girl and really shifted the attention to her, and now let's get to writing a show where it's not about Blossom and her family. Let's start writing the show about the oddball, kooky, goofy, charming, little cute best friend, and that's
definitely copied.
Yeah. Oh,
definitely copied in like the.
There were a million Disney sitcoms that had basically a Six character in there.
Like iCarly.
Oh,
those
fuck
types
yeah.
of like those like preteen like shows
or a variant
that popped
on
up,
it. Yeah.
Always had somebody like a Six.
Damn right.
You didn't really see beforehand. So.
She's memorable for sure.
She won America's heart. More importantly, she won a young Mike Madden's heart at one point.
Yes.
Or
yes.
was it more
age appropriate? It was age appropriate, by the way.
Or was it the Parkers that won you over?
There's a lot of memorable Jenna Von Oy parts. I don't think she acts anymore. So let's move to number 9.
We go from what did you say? Dream girl,
manic pixie dream girl. Yeah.
To an animated poor bastard.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about a poor bastard. If you asked him, he's having a great day. Butters from South Park.
Poor Butters.
I love Butters. Butters is so fucking funny to me because he's clueless. First of all, he just wants to fit in, so he doesn't understand that Cartman's an asshole. The rest of these guys in this this friend group that he's got are kind of like dismissive of him, and they're like, yeah, whatever, Butters, like you're here again, yeah, you can hang out. Like Butters is like, he's so psyched to be there. He's very dumb. He has terrible parents. His parents are the fucking stupid, some of the stupidest people on a show full of stupid people. But he also has I guess this is like the first character out of the bunch that we had I think 6 probably had like, you know, an episode that was centered around her. You know, maybe there was a Dr. Kelso or, I mean, there's a Rickety Cricket episode, but he fucks a dog in it. But Butters had a few episodes of South Park that were written around him and are incredible. Like when he, what's the one of it? He thinks he gets kidnapped. And it's just Cartman trying to keep him from going to Casa Bonita with for Kyle's birthday, and they leave him in like the dump, and he's like the junkyard dog from the dump becomes his friend, and like he's cleaning it up. He's such a delightful little idiot. And then there's also memorably there is an episode where he becomes a pimp. And he's got, you know, does somebody want to be Butters' bottom bitch? Does get mentioned. So there's an idiocy to him. He's a simpleton, but he's such a delightful little simpleton that like when Butters is on the show, Butters makes me smile. And which one out of Trey or Matt that does his voice, 10 out of 10, one of the best voices on the whole show. He sings little songs to himself. His best friend for a little while was when Cartman was the robot, Awesome-O. He's such a scamp. So I'm putting Butters on this dream team.
I don't know what's better when Butters is like just happy and kind of clueless, or when Butters gets like concerned or scared.
Oh.
Yes.
Well, I don't know, guys.
Yeah, like I like that when that starts happening. I'm like, there's part of me that almost kind of feels bad. It's like,
I'll protect Butters.
Butters should not have any idea as to what's going on. Yeah. And now he's getting scared, and his eyes, and then the voice. Like,
oh golly,
great.
guys! But yeah, his parents are the worst. Like they're just they're terrible. They're mean to him, and he just takes it.
I mean, does anybody really have good parents on South Park?
That's a great point. That's a town full of bad parents.
It's a town full of bad people.
Well, I mean, it could be argued that South Park, Colorado is filled with idiots and narcissists, but Butters is pure. He's number one in pureness. Although he did fall in love with the girl from the raisins restaurant. I can remember Butters should have been number one. Damn it. But no, only animated character that made the dream team, Butters. So congrats to Butters on making this.
It's almost like Leitner was the only college player to make the original dream team. Butters is the only animated person to make. Everybody else is actual flesh and blood.
Yeah, right, exactly. All right, so he's the Christian Leitner of this team. Moving along to number 8, quintessential sidekick.
And all aspects of sidekick.
Hey now. Hank Kingsley.
Wow.
There's a lot to say about Hank. He's one of the most complicated characters on the Larry Sanders Show because he's so vain. He's a bad friend to Larry. He's afraid of Larry. He's afraid of Artie. He's a goofball. He's very insecure, but he also treats his assistants terribly. He treats the writers on that show terribly. He gets everything that he deserves, to a T. And he has some of the best overreactions, just silently stewing and then letting off a fuck you. He's such a complicated entity, but he is quintessential sidekick. The first name that came to my mind when we were putting this together, I was like, I need to figure out a way to get Hank onto this, because he literally played a sidekick on a fictional talk show, and he is the quintessential sidekick. Maybe not a side character, but a sidekick on the show that Larry treats him like shit too, and he smiles to Larry's face and then curses him 2 seconds later. he's so torn in his brain that you can't hate Hank.
Just like Butter's character, where you have like I don't know which side of it. Is it when he's repeatedly getting shit on by Gary Shandling and Artie, the producer?
Yeah.
Especially when he like when he kind of like crosses that line or goes like outside of like, and Artie has to kind of like, fuck you, you're a sidekick. Like,
yeah, right. Yeah,
like,
exactly.
He has to remind Hank like the only reason like you were a fucking captain of a cruise ship and now you're like shut the fuck up. Like, so it's either that side of it is great, or like when Hank starts walking through the office and like the writers start giving him shit.
Yeah.
And he starts like, he gets like right in their face and it's like, I can have you fired.
Right.
All I have to do is talk to me and Larry are best friends, and all I have to go and you guys are fired, and of course nobody believes him. He has no juice.
Yeah, right.
He's just like he's doing promos for used car sales lots, and is constantly being reminded that he was a cruise ship captain, like on a repeated basis, and it's just like. But yeah, like when he has a meltdown, especially like when it's during a commercial break during the show, and it's like, oh, where the fuck is Hank going now? Like,
I fucked that up.
We're back in a minute 30. Where the fuck is he? Like that. I love the Larry Sanders Show. It's criminally underrated. It's another one that's like on my list of like. I really need to go back. Like I'm pretty sure it's on HBO Max.
Sure is.
I gotta go back. I gotta go back and watch it.
Oh yeah. It's
and
great.
Out of not the of all the people that are on our list. I mean, everybody still does "Hey Now."
Yeah, exactly. It's his catchphrase.
Forget the Yankees radio announcer. He has "Hey Now" as part of his home run. Like. Stern still has a clip of him saying "Hey now," like "Hey now," like it's and the Larry Sanders Show was like what last season was 98 or 99. I don't think it made the 2000s, right?
No, not even close. No,
I mean it was like so you're talking a good almost 30 years, and "Hey now" is still like a catchphrase, like
it's in the zeitgeist.
It's still used to this day.
Yeah.
So
great
Jeffrey Tambor.
Great Jeffrey Tambor. Very good. So let's move to number 7. You've got some notes on number 7?
Well, one of my favorite shows growing up, I was a big NBC Thursday night guy. Like the original incarnation. When you had Cosby, into Family Ties, into Cheers,
Must See Thursday,
into
right?
into one of my favorite shows, which was Night Court. One of the consistent secondary or side characters. Sadly, there were always 2 bailiffs that were on set, like characters in this fictional Night Court.
Yeah,
like 3 of them passed away.
That's true.
It wasn't until they finally casted like Marsha Warfield as the other sidekick. She lasted the rest of the
bailiff,
series.
right?
But the main bailiff was like. What was he? He was like 6'6", and that's Bull Shannon.
Bull Shannon.
His real name on the show was Aristotle Nostradamus Shannon, aka
Bull.
He was, in moments, very dumb, very gullible. In other moments, they wrote him where he was like this, like an insane like. Smart like who has been kind of playing like you're like, well, is he really dumb or has he been playing dumb? Because out of nowhere he'll have these moments of wisdom and wit for for Harry Anderson's character, but did play like the dumb kind of real tall dopey kind of like bailiff,
like Lurch.
Usually
he's very Lurch from Addams Family. I think that's how it was originally written. It was like they wanted there to be like a big like stoic.
He's intimidating to criminals, but yet to Marky Post or
Mm-hmm.
Marshall Warfield
Yeah,
or
he's
whoever
sweet.
it is. He's a sweetheart. He's a big teddy bear with a heart of gold.
Yeah.
And, you know, like I said, you know, they had different people that kind of came in. John Larroquette was a main character.
Sure was.
But, you know, you had a couple of different actresses that had played the district attorney.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, the second bailiff had, you know, Marcia Warfield was the third woman I think that they had.
Yep.
Mac wasn't originally the court supervisor or whatever he was. They had another person before Mac.
Mm-hmm.
But Richard Mull, who played Bull, was outside of Larry Anderson and John Larroquette, or Harry Anderson and John Larroquette. He was the main consistent thing from beginning to end. Yeah. So, and
they didn't. The good thing about Bull was that it was a trope at first. They didn't shove it down your throat, and then they changed it up a little bit. They softened it and made it more endearing of a character. They didn't necessarily. There were Bull-centric episodes, obviously, or like ones that like Bull saved the day because he's the only one tall enough to do this, or he actually showed his strength or whatever it was. Like, so you know, he didn't overstay. He didn't like step on anybody's lines, or he didn't like. He didn't force the sitcom, which this easily could have, because he was such a kind of big, unique actor and charming and could deliver lines. But they didn't utilize him in that way. They used that. I was an ensemble cast that spread the wealth around thoroughly when it came to the material that they were sharing with us every Thursday. So,
plus it was always really weird, like in other movies and stuff, like later on, like, where you would see Richard Bull with hair and a beard. It was just like, no.
Well, he's not Bull.
He's not Bull.
He could be something else. Hair. Makes for a good character actor if he can transition. But yeah, no, he's definitely memorable. Definitely, again, unique, and could deliver the goods when called upon. So he's an excellent one. Moving on to number 6. This is one of my guys. Leon Black, Curb Your Enthusiasm, came in third I believe it was the third or fourth season. Larry is doing a good deed, and Leon's wife, who was working for Larry, is down on her luck, so they move into Larry's house. All sorts of antics through that whole season, and you get a little bit of a taste of what Leon's all about. At the end of the season, she moves with the kids and the grandmother or the aunt, and they're out. And guess who's sticking around? Old Leon.
Leon.
And now he's Larry, not his best friend, but he's part of Larry's entourage from then on. Some of the dumbest ideas that Larry ever got were put in his brain by Leon. An agent of chaos, which makes for a good side character or sidekick. He's a hanger. He knows Larry is wealthy. He knows Larry's famous, and he's always telling Larry to capitalize on that and get more free shit. He's a wealth of bad ideas and bad influence on Larry. Just telling him things that basically like this is how Leon's brain operates, and he's using Larry as a puppet, and he almost wants to see Larry blow up spectacularly or fail, but he kind of also roots for Larry in that sense too. So you know, he's the devil on Larry's shoulders, a guy who doesn't need anybody else to give him terrible advice. Leon is the guy that gives him so much terrible advice and pushes Larry into so many bad directions. And listen, at the end of the day, Leon can walk away scot-free and say he's got no responsibility for what happens. So if something goes bad, something goes sideways, Leon's like, "What the fuck are you guys taking my advice anyway?" So I get such a kick out of like his interactions with Larry, especially when they're combative with each other and they're fighting back and forth. JB Smoove is the actor who plays him, and JB Smoove had been like a stand-up, and like, you know, he's a background player, or he literally the only other thing that I knew he was in, he was the I think what was he, the best friend of Pootie Tang in the Pootie Tang movie. And it's, so for a guy like that to come out of literally like an obscure role and to be like, hey, now this is a main character in a very beloved sitcom with impeccable writing, with such sharp satirical edges to it, and then have him be this sort of like chaos monster in the middle of it. Larry's chaotic enough on his own right and would be perfect, but you up the ante when you add Leon to the mix. So that's as good of a justification for having him on this dream team as anything. So
I have like a really weird relationship with the show Curb Your Enthusiasm.
All right, lay it on me.
Because like when it first started airing, I was kind of like, so this is the guy that they based George from Seinfeld off. Like he's gonna have his own show. Mm-hmm. I really wasn't like. I watched like a first couple of episodes, and I just, for some reason, I don't know, maybe where my headspace was, I kind of found Larry David to be annoying.
Interesting.
So I kind of just was like, I'm not like. It's like if I want to watch Seinfeld, like I'll just watch Seinfeld. It's on, Lord knows everybody's running reruns of Seinfeld, like TBS. Mm-hmm. I could find Seinfeld somewhere if I really want to get like this type.
Yeah.
So then it kind of went into that thing where like it stopped for a while, then it came back.
Yeah.
And then I kind of was like, I really should kind of watch this. Everybody loves it. But then it was in like, it's in hiatus for like 3 years. So I watched the last, because they were like, this is going to be the last season.
Right.
And I watched the last season of Curb Your Enthusiasm. And I was kind of like, I need to go back and start.
You need more.
Strictly of Leon, because of the Leon Black character. And the more that I read, like I see interviews where it's like, basically there really is no script. It's just it's like Larry David and JB Smoove kind of improvise it. Like there's a general, like maybe like
there's an outline.
There's an outline, or here's kind of like what needs to happen in this scene or here's what this back. But a lot of it is just like, okay, like he's going to get Larry involved in this, but how he gets Larry involved in whatever it is completely improv. Like how the lines and stuff are completely improvised. And it's just like, it is just it's like, and especially like when he just kind of enters in, like, he'll like, cause he lives with Larry or whatever, in the guest house, and he'll just walk into the main house and like Larry and Jeff Garman, Susie are like, are kind of in the middle, and most people would just kind of come in and, hey, what's going on? Like he just comes in and butts in and just like he doesn't give a shit. Like he doesn't need the backstory. He doesn't he's just gonna walk in and just either add chaos to it or add more confusion or get more people upset than they already were because he's not agreeing with Larry's point of view, or he wants
Larry to do something different.
Yeah, like you shouldn't listen to them. You should be doing this. You're fucking Larry David.
Yeah.
And then and the other two are now pissed off at Larry, and they're like, why do you still let this fucking guy live here? Blah, blah. And it's just it's pure comedy gold, and the fact that like the majority of it is improv and just kind of off the top, like it just makes you. It's like, oh man, I wonder what take didn't they take? Like how many different versions of this did they do? Like so that is definitely one where like I feel weird, like, but Larry, I think like Curb Your Enthusiasm is really a show that like you could just pop in and watch an episode and you're gonna laugh. I don't think you really know. You don't. There's not like, you need the whole story of Rachel and Ross to understand. But
that's what's funny. I'll stop you right there, because there are through lines in there that are important to know. But what's good about it is you can pick that up at any time, and every episode is good enough for you to say, hey, I just saw this. It's like, season 5, episode 2. Oh, I just saw this. I want to see more. Just like you said, like You watch the
Black,
last season and you're like, I need to go back and
all you really know, like Leon Black lives in this guest house. He's a hanger-on, and he basically either brings nothing but chaos, confusion, or anger to whatever situation he pops in.
Yes. Yeah, he's fertilizer.
And it's awesome.
And I will say there are a lot of good like side characters on Curb Your Enthusiasm. People that were there just for a little period of time. You could like Marty Funkhauser, the late great Bob Einstein. You could certainly make a case for him. Susie would be another one. I'm fucking Ted Danson. You could also. Yeah. There's a lot.
That is probably the best is when they actually bring real
people to play an exaggerated version of themselves.
Exaggerated, like Ted Danson's an asshole.
Yeah,
like right. That's the best.
Yeah.
If you ever seen Ted Danson on a podcast or like a talk show, he's like the nicest guy. Yeah,
ever. I was gonna say, like, is he really an asshole? No,
like he's like a guy that was like won so many Emmys for Cheers and stuff. You'd think he'd have this like sweat. Like he's not that guy at all.
No,
but if that's the way that he comes off. Like,
but that's what Larry thinks he is.
Yeah. So
yeah, I mean,
or like the episode where Conan's on, or many others. There's always like an exaggerated, less complimentary version of who they are in real life.
Yes. All right, we're going to move to the starters now. We've gotten to our starting five, and you can kick it off with a few notes on the fifth guy on our list.
Another show that like I pop in and out at like, there's enough memes and pop culture. It's part of pop culture, so you can kind of just pop in and watch an episode, and you don't. There is a through story and everything, but and that's The Office, and one of my favorite characters. Like the side people that are like is Stanley Hudson. The actor's name is Leslie David Baker. His I don't give a shit attitude, his face, the fact that like Michael Scott is always like giving him shit or making fun of him and just assumes because he's like overweight and black that he has diabetes.
Yeah.
There's always a mention, like, it's just about anytime there's an episode where there's a meeting.
It's got a crossword.
Yeah, he's got it's just, like, the people that are always, like, in the back office, to me, really drive the show. I understand, like, everybody loves Dwight and everybody loves Jim and Pam. Like, even the guy, like, later on during the series, like, you had Craig Robinson and guys like that who like they all of a sudden there were guys that worked in the warehouse. Like you never knew there was a warehouse, but now they're bringing in these different guys that like the BJ Novak's, Stanley. What's the
Kevin,
the overweight guy? Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
Like those to me are the best characters of the show and what drives the show. And out of all of them, Stanley is my favorite. He hits a lot
of home runs when he gets a chance to say a line. I was watching one. It's the women of the office are having a meeting in the main part of the office, and the men are all like in the warehouse. So obviously Michael Scott didn't tell the warehouse guys that they were going down there. He was so he's like, hey, we can help you and like get in our way, and like a few of the people are trying to like figure out an easier way to do stuff, and Stanley right in the middle of all of them is just like, listen, this is a run out the clock situation. Like we're not exerting any energy in this. We are just getting out of this as fast as possible. So stuff like that, and his his interactions with Michael Scott, obviously they have a back and forth. Michael ultimately like is kind of afraid of Stanley and admits that to Stanley a few times, that like he intimidates him. They certainly include him in everything. And I think you're right. Like those background characters, when they have a chance to shine, they really make themselves important parts of whatever story that they're telling. And yeah, I think Stanley's got he's got a place on this list for sure. Very.
If I wasn't.
Go ahead.
If I wasn't going Stanley, I was almost kind of contemplating Creed Bratton.
Okay.
He's another guy that like out of his mind.
Sure.
Like
yeah.
says really whack, but like the idea that Stanley like has no patience, has no tolerance for like the BS that Michael or Dwight are pulling in me, like
yeah, right.
Like, and he's just always got that like, you know, his bottom. He's always kind of like just that like
his hangdog,
annoyed face. Like, I think we're seeing a pattern. I like grumpy.
You like grumpy,
annoyed coworkers.
Older grumpy coworkers is in your wheelhouse. So yep. Stanley makes the starting five. The next guy on that list at number 4, Larry Dallas. We talked about the
Larry Daliopoulos.
Daliopoulos, right?
Daliopoulos.
We talked about Three's Company a few episodes ago, where we were focusing on the hot debate between landlords, but we're going to focus now on the ultimate wingman, Larry Dallas. He's a loyal wingman. He always wants Jack to be on the prowl with him. Introduce me, Jack. He's a perv, for sure. And he's got kind of evil intentions sometimes, and, you know, kind of borderline stalker. So that there's a sadness to Larry Dallas. I hate to say it, like, but I think he's still like, you know, he's still fun enough that you kind of root for him when he pops into a scene, or you know this is going to be an episode where Larry's going to be coming along for the whole episode with the gang, and he's going to be part of this. He's the fall guy in a lot of things, like, you know, he tends to, you know, get thrown on the bus by Jack if there's something that's, you know, that Jack should know better, but Larry's talked him into it. Jack ultimately at the end of the episode he's like, well, Larry talked me into it, or Larry asked me to do this. What's the big deal? Larry's loyal to Jack as well, so he's certainly Jack's sidekick and best friend. But yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of chaos involved with him, which I like as a side. Just as you were saying, you like curmudgeonly coworkers. I like a bit of a spicy character who can either come up with a great idea that's going to blow up in everybody's face, or just wants to be a good time Charlie. And that's Larry Dallas. Just wants to have a good time. He doesn't want to be hung up on anything. He just wants to go to the Beagle. He wants to, you know, tip a few, wants to dance a little bit, and then he wants to go home with 2 blondes. And preferably if they're twins, Jack, then it's better off for Larry. So who doesn't love a perverted best friend?
Larry was always thinking with his dick.
Yeah, right.
I don't know where exactly a part of California that Three's Company, actually, I believe it's near San Diego.
San Diego, yeah.
Or in San Diego, which must have the highest rate of triplets and twins
yeah.
in all of the world, because it was pretty much bound that the such and such sisters or whoever, like,
yeah,
that was always a gimmick.
Yeah.
Was that they were going to be at the Regal Beagle, and Jack, you got to drop everything that you do. I don't care if you're trying to like open up your restaurant.
Oh,
like,
you're taking a test for your culinary test? No.
Come on, I need you. Like, it's the so and so sisters. I can't
can't handle them on my own.
So yeah, he was, you know, an agent of chaos. There was a lot of times where not only did he basically threw that grenade and then just walked away, and then kind of came back later and was just like, oh wow, there's a real big mess here.
Oh.
And then Jack would be like, oh, now you came, you know. I think at the episode where I believe it was Larry that got him the gig where he was a live model.
Okay.
And then, you know, that goes wrong. And of course, like, you know, Larry just happens to stop by to see how the gig's going, and Jack's, you know, at a 10 and he's ready to strangle Larry. Always you know, a good sidekick, but how about a PG version, maybe PG-13 version of JB Smooth? Like
A little bit.
like he's gonna fuck some shit up, but he has the best intention. But he doesn't really use the language that Curb gets away with. But
Yeah.
number one thing to always remember about Larry: yes, he's looking for a good time, and the majority of the time he's thinking with his dick. Not with his
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. He's almost a one trick pony in that sense. So
But he was kind of like a symbol of the '70s, like somewhat of a good-looking guy. He's got the blown dried hair.
Wants to live the swinging lifestyle.
Swinging, yeah. He's going into Regal Beagle every night, trying to hook up with some chicks.
Yeah.
Wasn't he a used car salesman?
Yeah, sure was. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, right then and there, if he ain't trying to screw your wife, he's gonna try to screw you at the used car dealership.
He's gonna take your money.
So, yeah, but yeah, definitely one of the best secondary character or sidekicks, especially for Jack Tripper. But
Yeah.
Larry Dallas, Richard Klein,
Yes.
good friend of the pod.
Yeah. We'll have him on one time.
Through other people.
Maybe we'll have him on one time. Let's get to the top three. Number three, you want to talk about? So as I just said, chaos characters in sitcoms. If you watch The League, you know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about Rafi, El Cunado, Barolo. Here's his.
Now,
go ahead.
If they never wrote Rafi in, this could easily have been Taco.
Yeah. Well,
But
Taco
Rafi-
was dumb and high.
Like, if Taco is a thunderstorm, Rafi is a fucking tornado.
He's a tsunami. He's a hurricane, is what he is.
He's whatever. He's end of days.
Yeah. Taco's a 5. Rafi's a 35. So, wildly high. Like, here's some of his characteristics that I wrote down. Wildly high. He's a dirtbag. An absolute, like he looks like he smells, but he is also personality wise, he is a lech. He's a dirtbag. He's a corrupt person. Always probably running from a crime, and kind of sweaty. He doesn't casually walk into any of the rooms that he appears in. It's usually like "what up, jerks," or poke somebody in the penis or whatever it is. Like, he may be homeless, but I seem to remember he did have an apartment that had an unusual amount of chairs in it, and his landlord was like, I don't know what he's doing with all of these chairs. And then he only had like a bucket that was his kitchen toilet, which doubled as his kitchen and his toilet. And he's got no ethics. He's constantly like going to the guys with like these get rich quick ideas, or these like, hey, you have to help me get out of this trouble, or like hitting on wives, or hitting on his own sister sometimes. Like, there's something not right. He will. The good part about him is he does come equipped with a never-ending amount of pocket hot dogs that he'll pop at any time. And I also find it endearing that he through Kevin, what's his name? Kevin and God, I'm blanking on the other guy's name.
Shit. Hold on, I'll look it up.
But he doesn't get their names right. He calls Kevin Brian, and and Pete, and Pete is the other guy he calls Tall Guy. And it's just and they're like, we've known you for so long, you know our names, like, stop with this. And he refuses to, because he's his own force of nature. And he's he's unforgettable. When he's in an episode, you're like belly laughs because he either says something that's completely ridiculous, he gets them into some kind of trouble, or he gets himself into some kind of trouble, and then they're watching him like on the evening news or something, and it's like, oh, there's Rafi, just making a mess out of his life again. So I love Rafi. He's great.
You forgot one key element of Rafi.
Mm-hmm.
He is a sexual deviant.
Oh,
not only
yeah.
not only will you throw any term at him, he'll know it.
Yeah.
He's probably participated in it multiple times.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He has very short temper. At any given moment, he always threatened if anybody had a bad week in fantasy league, the switchblade comes out and he's always asking, "Who do I need to stab?" And I believe his part wasn't Dirty Randy his part.
Oh yeah. Dirty Randy. They had Rafi and Dirty Randy. They had adventures together and they shot pornography together.
Yes.
Sometimes at the library.
Yes. So yeah, he's just entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
But if you pray that you never run into in your real life, you never run to anybody who is actually really a Rafi. Or if you do, you pray to God that somehow you can get away from Rafi.
Yeah.
It's not going to end well. It's just nothing. There's no silver lining. There's no happy moment. It's you're ending up doing something. Most likely, you're either participating in some sort of sexual thing, or you're shitting in a bucket, or something.
Or he's stolen your property, or because he steals Kevin's car a few times. Like he's
a psychopath.
He's a psychopath.
He's
a psychopath.
Basically a psychopath.
Right. He's an entertaining psychopath. But
on the show, entertaining as hell.
Oh, of course, yes.
In a show that was already entertaining as hell, and then they brought him in. Was it second year?
Yeah,
he's Ruxin's
brother-in-law, El Cuñado. Yeah. I think
they brought him in like
end of the first season. End of the first season, I think he gets introduced to the rest of them.
And it's whatever. It's a tsunami. It's whatever from that point on.
You bet. All right, glad Rafi made it. Down to our final two. Take it away for our number 2 on the list.
So, absolutely one of my favorite sitcoms of all time is Cheers. It went through, you had Shelley Long, then you had Kirstie Alley. They brought in, Frasier, who became like a really good secondary character with Lilith, his wife.
Yep.
You had Woody Harrelson, you had Carla. Originally with Coach, but the one, even Cliff Clavin was kind of like a very, very set background type of guy that eventually they started writing a little bit more. But I think the best character from beginning to end of the series was Norm.
Yeah.
Norm Peterson.
Mr. Peterson.
Mr. George Wendt. We did discuss him a few episodes back when sadly it was announced, or we not that we broke the news, but when it was announced that George Wendt had passed away.
Yes.
We had talked very much about what Norm, the character Norm, meant to that show. He's kind of the guy that when you get to a certain point, when you get to a drinking age, like there are a lot of people that want to be Norm. They want to be the wise ass. I have my own stool. This is like when I walk in. This is the beer that I want. Every 5 minutes after you give me the first beer, the next one should be following and 10 minutes behind.
Yes.
Always had everybody would yell his name when he walked in. He always had a funny quip to come back. At the bartender. In a series that had great writing, great characters, I will I will basically like, I'll go out on my like Norm was the best one out of all of them, and he was, he was the drunk guy at the bar.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he was never really drunk, by the way.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
I mean,
he could handle his liquor.
Occasionally they would kind of have episodes where like you saw Norm as a house painter.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think
accountant.
Did they ever really actually see? Did you actually see his wife Vera? I don't remember.
No, they didn't. They
never brought it.
Yeah,
thank God.
That was I think they did an episode where they were at Norm and Vera's house, and you saw like her leaving rooms. Anytime like the main character came into a room, Vera would leave, and then I think at the end like there was a surprise cake or something, or like something like exploded, and their like frosting got all on her face and not on Norm's. So that was their way. And again, it's just sort of like a silly little sort of run through with that.
She was always mentioned because he was, he was like, he would come in from whatever job that he had, and then he would complain about the, Vera this.
Vera's gonna be mad, right? You're right. Yeah, yeah.
But, he was the guy that drank beer. He was the guy that had the best lines. He was a wisecrack.
Did shtick.
And to me, to me, he's number two on the list, but maybe number one on my heart. So
he also he's the brains when they need to like go and like venture out. So like if they have to go, like if there's like a restaurant that's opening, like an all you can eat like barbecue place, like they mentioned that a couple times, and then it closed, and they were all sad when it closed, and like, but Norm is like he's the one who's like, he's got the idea of like, why don't we all go do this, and then they eventually come back to the bar, sort of like, head in hand. That didn't go well.
The
but
idea as on how to get back at
Old Town Tavern. Yeah. He's again, he was a fixture at the place. He made a lot of sense to kind of bond characters together, and dare I say, we were discussing before this, there were 3 characters floating around to like be on this list from Cheers, because they were great at like writing for those side characters and making them like part of the ensemble, but like Norm fed to Cliff and he fed to Frasier, and he would feed to even like the some of the other secondary guys that would like pop in the later years. But everything, he's the quarterback. He's basically he's the guy that's like either going to deliver the punch or set somebody up to do the punch. And he just, I hate to say it, like, other than Sammy was a really cool, but Norm was like the second coolest guy in that bar by like a country mile. So it's it certainly makes sense for him to be even though he's passed on, it's this is a good like secondary memorial episode for George Wendt as Norm. So are we ready for number 1? I mean, if Norm is number 2,
you think our audience?
The audience, okay, all right. Well, let's end the episode here and leave it on a cliffhanger. No, we're not going to do that. So the number 1 side character in the history of sitcoms. This should come as no surprise. It's Newman from Seinfeld.
Newman.
The best part about Newman, in my opinion, I mean, there's a lot of memorable Newman scenes and episodes where Newman is like butting his head into things. At the core of it, Newman is the biggest enemy on that show, where you could easily say, if you were looking at it from a different perspective, everybody could point out the flaws in the main 4 characters in Seinfeld. And if this was called, if the name of the sitcom was called Newman, I think Jerry, Kramer, George, and Elaine might be the 4 villains on his side of the story. He butts into Jerry's business. He always wants to be, he kind of wants to be part of their group, but he knows that he's not like them. And very rarely interacts. Like he's got a secret crush on Elaine. Is friendly with Kramer, but also sort of rivalry driven with Kramer. He hates Jerry, and he never really interacts with George. If you ever noticed that, like they don't really, you could tell that they don't like each other and that George doesn't trust him. But I think it's justifiable for Newman to be like, fuck that guy. I don't like him either. He's a bit of an asshole. So,
well, maybe to the point of you were saying how like he wants to be in the group.
Yeah.
Maybe I think he wants to be George.
Maybe he does. Maybe he wants to be better friends with Jerry, or like sneak his way into Jerry's inner circle so that he can push George out.
But he has no, like, if that means I have to become friends with George, then I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
Like I'd rather be friends with Kramer. I'd rather there be moments where I'm going to go through Kramer to get in with the group rather than. And he's too chicken shit to kind of, because he's got a crush on Elaine.
Yes.
Again, another person who takes pleasure when their plans or whatever falls through.
Mm-hmm.
He's got the evil laugh.
Yeah, he certainly does. Yeah.
He's kind of like the very serious about the mail. Takes his, as a member of the post office, he takes it very serious.
He's also extremely lazy. Like a lot of these scenes where like he's, in the middle of what should be his work day, he's at the soup shop. He's at the soup Nazi's place, or he's at the bagel place, like or he's the frozen yogurt place too. Like he just pops up and it's sort of like, shouldn't you be working today? And the mail never, I didn't go into work today. Why'd you go to work today? Because it was raining. And I think it's either Jerry or George is like, in that rhyme, it's the first thing. You have to go in the rain. Like, it's
nor rain nor snow.
Yeah,
nor sleep.
Right. And he's like, it's the first thing. But that's what he's all about. Like there's a laziness to it. There's a scheming. But he's always entertaining in that spot because, he's going to be made to look like a fool, and he's going to bounce right back in a couple episodes and figure out a way to like try and infiltrate their good time, or try to get himself invited somewhere where he shouldn't be. So there's a scheme in his brain at all times. He's lonely. We pointed that out. He's extremely jealous of the group's harmony. But he's as long as Jerry and Kramer live in that building, Newman is part of their lives. So you're not going to be able to escape him.
In a show that was filled with secondary type characters that would pop in and out.
Uncle Leo,
Uncle Leo, George's parents, Jerry's parents, Putty,
Bob Sacamano, Lloyd Braun,
the Kramer's lawyer,
Jackie Childs. Yep.
What was the? I'm sorry, the little person that
Mickey.
hung out with
Mickey's
like there's a lot of them.
Banya,
but Newman was one. He's Jerry's nemesis, so
right.
There's always going to be, and two. I think he was just more consistent through the line through the whole series.
Of course, yeah.
He's they kind of wrote. Kramer was kind of like a secondary thing that eventually they started writing more and more for him because the people reacted to him. Originally, it was like a show about him and George, and Elaine was like this ex-girlfriend that he still hung around with. And, Kramer was just this wacky guy that lived across. But as the show went on, obviously,
they found more
Kramer
stuff for him to
went
do.
From a background guy to a main person on the show. So, Newman was always there with his little beady eyes, waiting for the bad thing to happen to Jerry. Kind of like, yes. When will it happen?
Right. Yeah. Or
mastermind.
I'm also thinking of the time that Kramer got obsessed with shaving with butter. and he had the hot tub in his apartment as well, and he would bathe in the butter. And there's the scene of Newman ladling it onto his back and licking his lips.
And it was like Kramer's head on a turkey.
Yeah, exactly. He was also in I think, the greatest episode of Seinfeld, when Kramer got the Merv Griffin set out of the dumpster and set it up in his apartment and started to host his own talk show at his apartment. Newman was his sidekick, and they kept sending him down the couch. So listen, there's a reason why that guy sticks in everybody's brain, and they're like, eventually, I know a lot of people that watch the show who are like, Jerry's the villain in it, right? And it's like, I don't know, like, Jerry's kind of like, he may be a narcissist, or George might be a narcissist, or whatever, but I think 9 times out of 10 somebody's like, no, Newman was the bad guy in the whole thing, and Newman still delivered some of the best lines, or had the best reactions, or made a fool of himself. So he's really, really memorable, and he's number one consensus on this list for sure.
That's a dream team right there.
It is.
Dream team is secondary players get the spotlight.
And here's
this podcast dream team.
This is what I will point out. Out of the 12 spots on this, there were 4, 5, 6. 6 out of those spots were from NBC sitcoms. Chew on that for half of it.
Ding, ding.
Yeah, so we were very influenced by the NBC comedy lineup.
I know. Like I said, Thursday night.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. It was, like I said, Cosby, Family Ties, Cheers, into Night Court.
Mm-hmm.
Then later on, it was Seinfeld was at 9.
Yeah.
They had, what was it, Mad About You?
Right.
Before that, like,
Wings was in there for a while.
Wings. Lowell is a really good secondary character.
So is Antonio Scarpacci, cab driver. People don't talk about Wings enough. News Radio. No, News Radio.
Was that a Thursday night?
They bounce News Radio around a lot. So they move News Radio. It was started on Tuesdays. Then it was Wednesdays. I think it hit Thursdays for a little while, but then they were like, oh, this is good. Let's build a night around it. And they moved it back to Tuesdays.
Well, that was the thing. They always put whatever the hell, like, whatever the 9:30 show was after Seinfeld, if it got rated, like, Mad About You eventually got moved to, like, its own day.
Mm-hmm.
Frasier was another one, I think.
That started on Thursdays.
Show,
yeah.
Moved it, and then they moved it around 3 or 4 different times.
Right.
So that was always, like, the 9:30 slot was like, well, if you get good ratings there, then we're gonna, you got a great lead in with Seinfeld, and then we're gonna.
I think the problem with
same thing. I think the 8:30 was also because you had Friends at 8.
Yeah.
And whatever was ever the show after that. So
Right.
Right. Sorry, we don't have a lot of secondary characters from Murder She Wrote and whatever bull crap they had during that time on CBS.
Well, I think that there's a way.
Sorry, I'm not a big Chuck Lorre guy, so I'm not going to put like
the Big Bang Theory people. No,
or whatever.
Yeah,
like the maid from 2.5 Men. No, like I'm not going to.
No, some idiot from How I Met Your Mother.
Although the wacko next door neighbor was pretty hot.
Okay,
so Rose, she was kind of hot.
I'll take your word for it. Never really a watcher of that one, but all right. I think we should get out of this one.
Hey, do you think there's somebody we missed?
Yes.
If you disagree with anybody on our list, feel free to go to our socials.
Hit us in the socials.
Drop a comment and, either give us your dream team or maybe somebody like, all right, I would have dropped these two and added these two or whatever it is. Or if you want to say, I love your list, it's the best list ever.
You guys are so smart.
You're going to say, you guys suck. Whatever it is, feel free, drop a comment. Talk about it at the water cooler at work. Whatever you feel.
What was a water cooler discussion? I've never stood around a water cooler and discussed anything, by the way.
All right, coffee pot, whatever.
Coffee pot, okay. Anyway, yeah, I mean that's the thing. It's like feedback is key. So if anybody wants to drop a comment wherever they can find us, socials, even in in Spotify or Apple, they have those comment sections. You can put it in there. Just don't make fun of our voices. that's mean. You can't really, I think that's crossing a line. So I don't want my voice criticized.
Are you staring at my gut? I'm working on it.
Yeah, this is not a visual podcast, so you can't say like, oh, you guys are ugly, or like, so like the next thing would be like, oh, you guys' voices sound like you sound like deflated Muppets, or you sound like like, why do you stutter so much, or like stammer so much? It's like, listen, fuckers, you try and do this. You try and lug Bill Lambier up and down the court, and
tell your father to
Wes Unseld up and down the court. So,
Roger.
That's it. All right, so that's the end of our episode. On behalf of the captain, this has been Mike Madden. We hope you have a good night, and we will check you later.
Norm.
Yeah. Help your fellow man, a good thing to do, yeah. Coming in 60 cents.